Kawhi Leonard, reports out there that he could be headed to Miami this offseason. Yes, he just got to the Clippers in 2019. Yes, he came to bring them their first ever title. But Antoine, you joined Miami later in your career. LeBron made a stop in Miami. The Golden Girls have always been in Miami. What are the chances Kawhi leaves the Clippers for the Heat this offseason?
I think this is totally different. I think when you think about Kawhi Leonard, he's the one guy, I think, in the league that enjoys competing against LeBron James. If you remember a couple years back, he could have joined the Lakers. I mean, LeBron actually went out to him and wanted him to join him in L.A., but he chose to go to the other team in L.A. I also believe that Kawhi does not want to leave L.A. When you go to Miami, the commitment becomes totally different. Pat Riley's going to make you practice. You know, they're going to have a list of demands. There's not going to be this you get days off. You're going to have to practice and compete every day. And it's a different program down in Miami. So I don't think that's something that he would want to sign up for at the point of his career. Would it be a great move, him and Jimmy Butler? Probably so. They probably would be able to compete at a very high level in the Eastern Conference. But for him to leave the Clippers and go to Miami, I just don't see it happening. I just think Kawhi has too much competitiveness in him to compete against LeBron James. It may not be against every other player in the league, but for some reason, I don't think he wants to team up with LeBron James. So I don't think this can happen at all. And the commitment that the Heat are going to put on him as far as his demand on his body to work out every day and to play in games, I don't think Kawhi Leonard was going to want that.
Well, the reason this is a story is because before Kawhi recruited Paul George to join him, he recruited Jimmy Butler to join him, and Butler chose not to. And it's also a story because Miami kept their, let's call it, options open by not making the move for Kyle Lowry at the deadline, instead getting Victor Oladipo's on expiring contract and keeping all of their young assets, most notably Hero, Precious Achiuwa, and of course Duncan Robinson. So that's why this is a story. The other reason this is a story is because it is a very real possibility that the Clippers flame out again. And I know Brandon doesn't think they will. I do think they will. We'll get to see it in the playoffs, whether or not they will, right? But that's why this is a story. This is a story because
I'm just laughing at the flame out part.
Yeah, well, I think they flamed out last year, and I think they will again. I don't think they will lose in respectable fashion. I think the Clippers are more likely to lose until last night when they lost to the G League Orlando team, because shockingly, when you don't hit 45% of your threes, it's tough to win games. But that's neither here nor there. The point is this. Antoine was right. Kawhi signed up to go to the Clippers, to go home, and to compete with LeBron. So what if once again his team loses before they even get to LeBron? You don't think he's looking around? If they go, right now they'd be playing Denver in round one. Could Denver beat them in a series? Well, they did last year. So if they were to lose in round one, Brandon, I think Kawhi is surveying his options. I do think that.
Listen, first off, zero chance. He just bought a home out in L.A., outside of L.A., okay, $18 million home, yep. Beautiful home. He's not going anywhere. He's from L.A. Until Steve Ballmer and his relationship deteriorate, he's not leaving. So this is an idiotic conversation right now. Here's the deal, though, Nick. You're talking about Kawhi. Kawhi, this is what's going to happen. If they lose in the first round, all he's going to do is go shake his hand and say, LeBron James, great job. That's it. Last year is a different year. We're talking about a team that didn't want to be in a bubble, a team that didn't want to play together. They got rid of those guys. This is a different situation. There's no more load management. There's no more lack of leadership. Kawhi is standing up and doing the things that we all said he should be doing. So if they lose as a competitor, Kawhi is going to go and he's going to shake their hand and say, you know what, I'll see you guys next year. But right now we're looking at a team that just started, a 9-game stretch, home game stretch, and that could potentially be in first place come mid-April. This team is a really good team. If they lose, then they're going to lose the right way. Last year, they lost the wrong way, and we all crushed them, rightfully so.
So Antoine, do you think, and I'll build on that, Brandon. Antoine, do you think that if they win the championship, Kawhi stays. We all agree on that. But do you think in the manner in which they lose matters to Kawhi? Because it feels like there's a lot of pressure on the Nets to win. I would say there's even pressure on Giannis to win. I don't know how much pressure there is on Kawhi to win. It doesn't feel like anyone's outside of Brandon really thinks that they have a shot at the championship. It doesn't feel like they're in that upper echelon. Do you think there's a tremendous amount of pressure for him to win?
Well, I think it's pressure, especially from the Clippers organization. Obviously, they probably would love to sign Kawhi back because of the things that they gave up to get Kawhi and Paul George. I mean, they basically leveraged their whole future. That's why Paul George got the contract that he got. But I think for Kawhi Leonard, I think one thing that he likes to do is compete. And the reason I say that is LeBron won a couple titles in Miami. So that's why I really believe he don't want to go to Miami. He doesn't want to follow in the footsteps of LeBron. He is one of the few guys, I think, in this league that enjoys competing against him. I think he wants to compete against LeBron in the Western Conference Finals and see if he can beat him, with him being the main guy on the team. I don't know if that's going to happen. I'm not sold completely on the Clippers team. I put them in the pool of the Portland Trail Blazers, the Utah Jazz, a bunch of teams that's in there.
What?
But right now, with LeBron and AD being out, of course they should feel confident that they can win the Western Conference. But they're in the pool with a team about 4 or 5 other teams. They're not there yet. They're not there yet. When
you said the same thing about the Nets. You said the same thing about the Nets a couple weeks ago.
No.
And then last week you come on the show, you said, Brandon, you've convinced me. You said that, what was it, last week on the show? You said, Brandon, you convinced me. And now you're saying the same thing with the Clippers.
No, I say you convinced me about James Harden, how good he's been playing. I've been said once the trade was made, and I believe that the Brooklyn Nets were going to the Eastern Conference Finals and had a chance to win the NBA title. I said that once the trade happened. But James Harden is doing a terrific job. He's up for MVP. He's playing great basketball. But it remains to be seen if they can win a title. But right now, they look really good. I haven't jumped on that bandwagon completely yet. But I have said is James Harden is starting to look like that MVP guy.
Okay. Well, Antoine, you were right about everything you've said so far today until that part's wrong. But we don't have to get into the James Harden MVP thing. All right. So, Wilds, to be fair to Brandon definitely is not the only person that thinks the Clippers are going to win the title. They currently have the third best odds. They've got the third. It goes Nets, Lakers, Clippers, if you want to go bet them. They have better odds than than the Sixers, than the Bucks, than the Jazz, than the Suns, than anybody else. So somebody, it's not just Marcellus, Brandon, and Clipper Darrell, somebody believes in this fraudulent team. Now that's throwing money away. But the fact of the matter is, we can't retcon how this team was built and what it was built for. It was built to win immediately. They have no draft picks left. They have one young player in their rotation in Terrence Mann. They just traded for Rajon Rondo. That's not a look to the future move. That's a we have to win right now move. And if they lose in round 1 or 2, which is to me so much more likely than them winning the conference, what Kawhi Leonard is going to be looking around and saying is, all right, next year, we have committed, $50 million to the foursome of Patrick Beverley, Luke Kennard, Rajon Rondo, and Marcus Morris. We have no draft picks. We have no young players. Paul George is on a super-duper max, and I have a choice to make. And so I know he wanted to be in L.A. I know he loves living in San Diego, and now he has the house in L.A. as well, and all of it. But Kawhi Leonard is a competitor. Kawhi Leonard is here in theory. He's not here to do commercials. He tried that run, and the New Balance marketing team killed him, and all of it. And so he's here to win basketball games. And if the Clippers end up looking like the 7th